You know, when it comes to motivation, the number one thing you've got to do is find out what the motive is. Because if there's no motive, how are you going to activate it? Motive, action, motivation, right? So the big question that faces you and me every day, and I mean every day, all day long, wherever we go, is this question. What do you want? You know, when you walk into a coffee shop, the barista looks at you and what they're thinking is, I'd really like to know what you want. Because if I know what you want, I can prepare it or tell you we don't carry that. And if I don't know, then we're just going to stare at each other. When you get in your car and you pull out onto the street, the other traffic looks at you wondering what it is you want. Are you going to go left, right, straight? You're going to stop? You're going to go faster? Until you indicate what you want, the rest of the world cannot accommodate you. As a matter of fact, the rest of the world will not accommodate you. So what do you want? So what do you mean? Well, what do you want for your life? How do you want your life to unfold? How do you want your relationships to unfold? How do you want your health to evolve? How do you want your attitude to go? How do you want to have fun? What do you want to be, do, have? That's a great structure, by the way. What do you want to be? What do you want to see? What do you want to do? What do you want to have? What do you want to check off of your bucket list? You know, the things you're going to do before you kick the bucket, they say. Well, I think it is really, really valuable to spend some serious time just journaling about what you want. Just take a sheet of paper or a little booklet and put today's date on it and start writing down what you want. And if you're having trouble getting started, start listing categories. Mental, physical, family, social, spiritual, career, financial, emotional, or community, church, business, you know, whatever you want to do. Identify a category and then pose the question, what do I want? And write down whatever answer comes up. Don't worry about getting it right. Don't worry about getting an A at the end of this. Just capture the thinking. And then you can look back on it later and refine it and change it or even abandon the things you put down if you change your mind later. Because everything you put down is based on today's choice. See, my brother-in-law, when he was 8 years old, he said, I want to be an astronaut. Now, he had a couple of impediments to that. His dad worked in a factory. His mom took in laundry and other things to earn some extra money because there were 5 kids in the family. He was the youngest. He wanted to be an astronaut. He didn't have any connections in the community. They didn't have any money to speak of. He had no hope of being an astronaut. But when he went to high school, they had an Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC. And he said, hey, that has to do with airplanes and rockets and flying. I want to join. So he signed up for Air Force ROTC. He also realized that if he wanted to be an astronaut, astronauts probably got good grades in school first. So he got good grades in school. He was a diligent student, a disciplined student, and he did very well. When he graduated high school, he was the valedictorian of the school. He gave the commencement address, and he graduated Air Force ROTC. Well, still, he's got no connections. How's he going to get an appointment from a senator or a congressman to go to the Air Force Academy or whatever, Naval Academy? So he came to me and he asked me who I knew, and then my wife Paula, she worked in a bank, and we went to her boss, the bank president, and asked who he knew, and we got in touch with the right people, and my brother-in-law, Sam, got an appointment to West Point, the Army school, and to the U.S. Air Force Academy, which he accepted. He majored in astronautical science. He graduated, he became a pilot. After that, he became an instructor pilot. After that, he reached a decision point. Do I want to go with the discipline and rigor that's required to enter the astronaut program, which is going to take many years of intense dedication? Or can I kind of back off of that and take a still difficult, but much easier by comparison and more reasonable path and be a full-on Air Force pilot? he went that direction. He flew planes all over the world for many years, left there, became a private pilot for a while, and then got a job with Delta Airlines, and now he's in a position where if he wanted to, he could retire from Delta after having flown airplanes, really nice airplanes, all over the world. He flew fighter planes when he was in the Air Force. He's flown big, fancy, huge jetliners. He has seen the world, and he started with no advantage whatsoever that would get him there other than a good mind and a good heart and people that loved him. Whatever it is you want, when you learn to express it to the rest of the world, you find other people help you. When you show the rest of the traffic which way you want to go, cars tend to back out of the way and let you go there. When you tell people around you what you want, they tend to consider what you want while making their decision about what's going to happen. For example, if you're sitting with the family and someone says, hey, where do you want to go for dinner? If you don't speak up, guess what? They're not going to your place. But if you say, I'm in the mood for barbecue. No, I'm not so much in the mood for barbecue. No, me either. Oh, let's go for Mexican food. Well, okay, but I'm in the mood for barbecue. Finally, somebody says, you know, why not? Let's go to the barbecue place. They've got good tacos there too. All you've got to do is start thinking about what it is you want and noticing what you want and putting it in writing. If you don't put it in writing, it's not a goal, it's a wish, a dream, a fantasy. If you put it in writing, there's something tangible about it. You can always throw it away, but keeping it, and with today's date on it, it always reminds you where you started, and you can ask yourself again, is that what I want? And if it is, I'll bet it'll come true.